Hello everybody, and welcome to this demonstration in which I'm going to show you how you can use the workbench in VizcomAI as an ideation pinwheel. What this means is we will upload one image, a yellow couch, and then use the modify command to create all these different variations. For example, with the variation command here, you see I selected the edge quality, and then I have a slider to say make it more roundish, make it more soft, make it round and soft, make it more sharp. And then I created all these different versions. With this one, here we can see this was very melting, very viscous, because you can even write in your own descriptions in those words. You can see then you have a custom, and by the way, you can just go back to the original one. And what's really great about the workbench is, as you can see, how you can structure your process. Here now I added also the text, so I know what I did. This is flowing to smooth, organic to simple, organic to complex. You see, this is simple, this is complex, really interesting outcomes. And that also really helps you to document how specific commands will generate specific outputs. From this matrix, then I selected 4 very interesting designs. Then using the view or new view command in modify to create these different views I needed: front, 3/4, side, and back. So we can select them all, put them into a layer, into a new studio file, and then create 3D models. Now, so that was all kind of like done with the variation new view command. What you also can do, as I mentioned, you can write your own prompts or values into the variation tool is using the same. And you see how I'm doubling, for example, it. So you can play with that a little bit more. And to continue this playing of repetition and cycling, take a look at this. That's the original first version, another modification with the same value, second version, third version, fourth version, fifth version. The fifth one doesn't really change as much anymore. But look, this is such a beautiful transformation, how everything got very flowing and very soft. So just choose for you to know that it's not click once and you're done. You can just repeat this, but you always need to use the end result of each previous step and then reprocess it one more time. And we can also use the description in the modify command and tell it how we want this to be changed. Very soft and rounded design. Now you see it created these proposals then for me. And based on what you write as a prompt, the AI will try to do. Okay, so let me show you now how this works in detail. But before we get started, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you will never miss any upcoming video. And now let's really get started. So we can go to the plus icon. We're in the workbench, upload a new image. I have this one here, so I make a copy. Then I bring in the modify command. There we are. I just connect it. Here's a varied form and color. And then basically you select what you would like to have. So let's say edge quality, soft and round. And I will start with very soft, very soft and rounded, and then very rounded. And then it will produce this for you. Also, wherever you have this, really defines the strength. So this is neutral, a little bit soft, medium soft, very soft, And same here, little rounded, medium rounded, very rounded. So you just understand how this works. So this will work here for a moment. There it is. So that is very soft, slightly rounded. So this was more here. Then very rounded, very soft. And this is more very rounded, slightly soft. Quite nice. Now if you compare this, you see the edges got a little bit softer. Here everything got super round and super soft. And here this got much more rounded, but not so soft. This also kept the legs, changed the legs. No, quite cool. Okay, so if I like this design, so very rounded, very soft, I can now go ahead and add another modify command. Drag this one out, connect it, go to here. What was this? Very rounded, very soft. Very rounded, very soft. And hit process. And then I'm going to already bring in the next version. Oh, that was the wrong one. There. And once this is done, then I connect this to the next modify command and create then an additional modification of kind of like this idea of the chair or the sofa becoming increasingly very rounded and very soft, or whatever you honestly wrote into these text fields. There it is. Oh, look at that. Now you see much more puffy. So there, we connect it and generate. And this process is pretty much what you see I did down here. Nicely exploring from one design and then repeating and repeating and repeating. One could also clean something up so things are easier to read. So let's say here, these are the 3 results. That's the one I continue working with. Ah, look how easy that is not to read. No. Again, this is a really nice thing about the workbench. You can document your process well. Oh yeah, that's really super cute. Okay. Let's say we want to turn this now into a 3D model. We only have one image. We need multiple images. Okay, no problem. Let's go ahead and use the new view command. I would like it from the front. Front left, 3/4. Left. Then the rear view. And the top view. Now for creating currently an AI model or 3D model, we only can use maximum 5 images. And there we are. Look at that. Perfect. Then we can select all these 5 images, right click, add selection as layers in Studio. Takes a moment. We can select all these layers, group them, and then we just create our 3D model from multiple views. And just wait till this is done. And then after a little bit of waiting, it is finally done. Then we can click on our layer, and here is our 3D model. Look at that. That looks actually pretty accurate to the photos. Here's a wireframe mode. Look at how nice actually the folds are and even the seams. That's great. Cool. Okay. So with this, I concluded basically this demonstration about how you can use Viscom, the workbench, together with the modify command, either by using the variation command or using the modify via text command to create one okay looking common sofa into a bazillion of really cool and different fun interpretations. Have fun trying it out yourself.